Did you hear that?
Yep.
I hate that sound.
Recording in progress.
There we go again. There we are. All good? So Google My Business is a tool that Google gave you. It used to be called Google Logo, and it basically puts your business on the map, although you don't have to actually put your actual address into it. So the idea of using it is to be found on the front page of Google in your area without spending any money. Google has a notorious reputation for taking your money for Google Ads, and people don't really understand the Google Ads, but they don't realize that you can put a listing onto Google and be found on the front page, and it costs you absolutely nothing. And why do you need it? Well, you need it because it's a free tool, it's easy to use, and Google is the first place that people will look for information. Whenever I'm going on holiday, or I'm going to go to the hairdressers in a new town, or I'm out and about, Google is the first place that I'll put that in and see what's in the area. And that's where people usually go and look for information. So if you're not on there, then you're really missing that opportunity to be found. So you're providing your customers with information that you want them to have about your business. And everybody concentrates an awful lot on Facebook and Instagram, but you cannot really search for hairdressers. Well, you can a wee bit on Facebook, but not so much Instagram or anywhere else. Google is usually the first place that people will search. And then consumers will check the photos and the reviews because everybody's really nosy. And it's then that they go and look for more information on your Facebook and Instagram. And that's where you continue building relationships with your customers, but you need to make sure that you're on Google first. There's 3 ways to be found on Google. You can pay for the ads. You can have a high ranking website, which a lot of people concentrate on, but the fact is that you're competing with people who have paid thousands of pounds for professional websites, and you need to have good SEO and keywords, and it can be very complicated. But Google My Business is free and it's very easy. So it puts you on the map. Here I put the phone view of what we look like on Google Maps at the minute. It shows Mums at Work. It shows exactly where I'm located. I prefer to have my address on there because my actual street isn't on the maps yet. So by putting Mums at Work on the map, then means I get my deliveries. It shows all the photographs, popular photographs, how to call me. It tells people a description, which is business networking company, and tells them what times I'm open. But it doesn't stop people from sending messages after 5 p.m. But sure. So these are the things that you want people to know about you. They want to know your opening hours, your address, your photos, reviews, events, any services or products that you provide, general information. And then you can also see the number of views in a month and how many people found you from Google Maps, what keywords they use to find you, because Google sends you a monthly report to tell you what it is that they said. You can answer messages directly from customers from your Google listing, and you can put a link to your landing page, your website, your social media pages, your blog, whatever you feel like. So this is a desktop view of Mums at Work on Google. And as you see, it shows you everything that it does on the phone, but it also shows you the website that you're linked to. So if you've got your own website, this is a great way of making sure that it's seen as well. And as you can see, it shows you the products, and people can ask questions, and people can send your listing to their phone, also to other people's phones as well. They can save it, they can ask for directions. It's pretty good because, you know, it gives you a lot of information. Also here it says people also ask, what do mums do for work? What are the best jobs for mums? So it shows what people are looking for on Google. What's the popular searches to do with the words mums at work, which is valuable market research. Now, this is your view whenever you log into your Google My Business. Once you set it up, which is very easy, it will send you either a text message to verify your account or a postcard to your address, like it did with me, because my address wasn't on the map. And this is the kind of information that you can put on. Now, of course, Google is a business, so it wants you to create an ad. So I've marked that out. Don't do that. Don't create the ad. Don't create the ad, because you want to use the free options that they give you. So you can create your posts, you can provide your information, you can look at your insights, your reviews, any messages, photos, products, link to your website. And if you've got more than one person in your team, you can have other users. So basically, like, you go onto Facebook and create a post, you just go and click create post, or you can click add photo. You can update your business hours, especially for Christmas time or any time that you're away. And if you've got a COVID-19 update, it's very important to put it on there. And you can be asking for reviews, which is a bit scary. Now here it shows me my latest post. It shows me views, searches, and activity, which is brilliant, because that's really valuable information, you know. So whether you're a physical business, it is important that you give yourself a business type. So if you are in network marketing and you want people to sign up with you, you could call yourself a distributor rather than an ambassador, because it's more well known. Or you could be Marie, you could put down a merchandising, provider, whatever it is that you think people are going to search for. But you have to put it into the words that the ordinary layman would use, because that's what's going to be a keyword that they're going to search for when they go and type it into Google. You put in the areas that you service. So you can service the whole of the UK. You put in your opening hours, your contact information, your website, and you can put in a list of products. So it gives them lots of information whenever they see your listing on Google. Again, as I said, if you have a team, you can have other users as well. So if you've got people working with you, you can ask them to put on updates and photos all the time. So it's just not about you. So what to post on Google My Business? I've put this on because it gives you so many different options of what you can post. You can put on your events, products and services, your special offers, your news, photos, COVID updates. But you have to post in the customer's own language, because that's what they're searching for. So use keywords that they would use. Often we talk in the language that we understand, but generally speaking, nobody understands what we're talking about unless they're in the same industry or they've come across what we do before. And you can signpost people to your services. Use the call to action button, which is learn more, call now, sign up, and book now. They've also now got added buy into that as well, so buy now. So this is what happens whenever you go to create a post. So your COVID update, you just generally, anything that's a special offer, you can put in a start date and end date to an offer as well if you want it to be a limited time. You can tell them all about your news. If you've got a flashy new blog you want to put on there, you can put the photo and write your post and link it to your blog. You can put on events. I use it for events because if somebody goes on to events on Google and they're in your area, your event will automatically come up on the search. And so you're getting found by people who normally may not find you. So it's very, very easy to use. There's none of this, it's very, very like the simplified version of Facebook years ago. You put your photo on, you put your post on, you put the button on to direct people somewhere else, and you press publish. And that's really all there is to it. So it's not even very difficult to use. And on all the posts, you can create this call to action by using the add a button option. And this is what it looks like. So you can get them to book, order online, buy, learn more, sign up, or call now. So you're telling them what you want them to do whenever you've created the post. If it interests them, then they could sign up. So you can add people onto your mailing list. You can get them to buy. You can get them to order online. It's a great tool to use because, if you don't give them a call to action, they just read it and move on. And again, adding on your photos and your products is very, very important so that people can see exactly what you do. Because people are really nosy on Google. They want to see what it is that you do, and you're giving them information without having to explain it. And there's none of this stuff that you get with Facebook and Instagram where you have to do videos and build your own relationships and show a bit about yourself and show what you ate for your dinner. this is very simple. You put your photos on, you put your products on, and you let Google do the rest for you. And people do love to look at photos. So I put this on my photos, and it shows you what photos are very popular. And in actual fact, some of the roughest photos that I've got on Google are the ones that are looked at the very most, rather than the ones that are professional. And like you can get anything from a couple of views, 80 views, 60 views, right up to 639 views. There's a room half empty, 152 views. You just don't know what people like to look at, but getting as much content on there as possible to reflect your business is what you really want to do, so that people who are scrolling and looking through Google, looking at the reviews and looking at the photos will have plenty to look at. I'm very guilty of it. When I go and look for a hotel online, I look at the hotel's own photos, but I really want to see, what do other people say those rooms and toilets and bathrooms look like? You know, I don't believe the photoshopped professional photos. I want to see what other people say. So I do think that photos are very, very important. And then you can add in your products so that people can buy. If they like everything else on there, you don't even have to get them to your website. You can link it to your website, but you know, if you have your product set up with the direct link, then people can buy straight away from there. And you can go and see what it looks like on Google to make sure that you're happy. Let me see, what else have we got? Reviews. Now, we all really terrified of reviews, but getting reviews is very, very important, and you can check them from your Google My Business listing and reply to them. And it tells you what they want you to do, which is all of them, which ones you've replied to and which ones you haven't replied to. They want you to reply to them, because Google loves reviews and it loves engagement. So I'm going to go over a bit more about reviews. But first of all, here is what it looks like when somebody messages you via Google, and then you can reply and respond. And that would have been very, very active for me on my wedding page. When people went to Swift to ask a question, often it would be, have you got this date available? And so it was good to go back and reply to them straight away. They just wanted to know that one answer to the question, and then it's easy enough to reply. They also give you a basic profile and website, which is great if you don't have a website already. And it's a tool that you should use and fill up with some information, even if you have got your own website, because it's free and it's there. You don't have to activate it if you don't want to, but if you haven't got a website, then this is something that you should really take advantage of, because people can call you and get directions. They can see your photos and your products straight away from there. And people don't realize that Google does give you a free website. Now, they do give you a funny, a link, but still it's better than nothing. You can put that into your Facebook page, you can put it into your link in your bio on Instagram, and it takes your messages for you without you having to have an actual business email set up. So the more features that you use on Google My Business, the more that Google sees you as a valuable user. So my recommendation is to update regularly, respond to all the reviews and messages so that it helps your business be pushed to the top of the listings, and get your customers to review and get customers to add their own photographs, because this is helping you be found on Google, and it's free. And we spend so much money on trying to be found on Facebook and Instagram, where the first place that people go to is Google. So reviews, we are terrified of them, but potential customers want to hear the feedback from other people. They want that third-party testimony. Positive reviews build confidence and trust with other people. But don't worry if you do get a bad review or somebody doesn't give you 5 out of 5, because having something that's less than perfect is more real. If you have 5 out of 5 all the time, that's fantastic, but it looks more real if you have got 4.8 out of 100. But which would you choose? Would you choose one with 4.8 out of 100, or 4.8 with 5 reviews? So getting as many reviews as possible, good or bad, is really the whole point. And if you do get a negative review, they can help you measure your own success and see what the customer really thinks. And you can think of it as constructive criticism. But the main thing you should do is always respond to the customers. If you've addressed their issue and their concerns, you could win them back, because customers love to be heard. The fact that you're responding with an answer and that other people can see that is something that helps build trust as well. Now, online reviews help you with the better search engine visibility. And Google and other search engines really do favour the highly rated sites. So if you are an insurance provider in your local area and there's 10 of you and you're the one with the reviews, Google will show your listing first. So as a small business owner, we should always encourage customers to leave reviews, and you can incentivize it. And what I mean by that is my Danielle used to work for a restaurant in Liverpool, and they gave every one of their servers a £5 spend behind the bar for every Google review that they could get that mentioned their name. So, they were all out for their free drinks after work, but, it really worked for that business. So ask customers for reviews. Automate if you can. If you have a system that takes bookings and you can send them out a message to ask for the review afterwards, do that. If you have a shop or you have somebody with you buying, just get them to get their mobile out and give you a review on the spot. Make sure that you're checking your reviews regularly and respond to all good or bad, and share your reviews elsewhere, because they are all part of that word of mouth recommendation process that is so important for you to build the likability and the trust with other people. And so that is it. And I hope that, hang on, I have one more thing to show you. Just by chance this morning, Google sent me this for Mums at Work. Your photos were reviewed 7,929 times this month. You see that?
No.
1 hour ago. Well, it was a wee bit more than that now. And that was Aislinn's photo in The Merchant was the most popular one. And then it tells me 90% of customers are more likely to visit a business that has.
It's not showing us that screen, Sinead.
Hmm?
We
You
can't
can't see
see
it?
that screen. No.
Let me see if I can stop sharing, do it again. Can you see that now?
No, it's not giving us anything.
I don't know.
It just tells us. It's just telling us you're screen sharing.
Well, that's awful good of it.
That's not.
Is that it there?
Your 225 photos got 7,929 total views. Yeah.
Yeah, that was this morning. So I thought that was quite good timing for Google, to send me that this morning. So it does send you monthly reports on what's seen. So, I think it's something that people forget. But the most important thing, I think, is getting a title that people will look for. And often, because we don't now have traditional businesses, you can't just put down, well, you can, Susan, you can put down accountant, people understand that. And Louise, you can put down beauty therapist and people will understand that. Marie, you can put down branded merchandise shop. Possibly people would understand, but not
People
very
never
many.
understand.
Do you know what I mean? So it's trying to
Yeah.
get a description for your business, so that if somebody went into Google tomorrow and said, I really need to have this service, it's finding out what you think people would call you.
Mhm.
So that you'll come up in your area. That's first and foremost. Hairdressers is easy. Hotel, Chinese restaurant, all very easy. But knowing you could use the word nutrition and wellness, because that probably would come up. Ruth, probably the same. Do you know what I mean? You could maybe put in nutrition and wellness. That might come up. Karen, professional organizer.
I know.
It will go on. How to tidy up my room. Professional,
Tidy and
tidy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it would work. But
Yeah.
it's trying to get that down. Now, what I found was, even though we were a wedding decor company and we really hated putting chair covers on, and it was the lowest service that we did, it was still the highest searched item for a wedding decor company. So we put in chair cover company. And once we got them into the showroom or got talking to them online, then we sold them the fairy light backdrop or the chairs or the tablecloths or whatever else, but we had to put on what people generally look for the very, very most. And once that was nailed, everything else is easy. So it's trying to figure out what you can be found for. I think there's a tool on Google where you can go and see what is the highly searched keywords for your business. And that helps you then put on those posts that people are going to find. But I don't know that, like, are you like me? Do you go onto Google every day and search something?
Yeah.
Probably where I start before I do anything else. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think most people do, or Pinterest or Google, one or the other.
Well,
But
do you
yeah.
know if you are using Pinterest, there's somebody coming on now. If you're using Pinterest, it's higher in search engine as well, and it links up with Google. So like it's always useful to do both. But you know, most people would go on to Google first. At least it shows you on the map in your area, and you may not be found overall, you know, maybe in the whole of the UK, but really getting local customers is really what most people need first, and then they can help spread the word.
Does it link to your social media pages?
You can link it to your social media. Instead of, if you haven't got a website, you can put on your, you know, that button that I showed you, you know, like buy now, order online, learn more. You can put learn more on and direct them to your Facebook page or your Instagram page, or you can put it onto your blog. Or
does that then get the sort of algorithm Facebook in your favor as well? Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what it should do, because people want to learn more, and often that is the first place they'll go to. Straight after that is either Facebook or Instagram if they do want to learn more, especially if you haven't got so many reviews, because people are so nosy. They'll go on to Google, they'll look for the reviews, maybe not so many, maybe only a few, then they'll say, well, I'll go and find out more on Facebook, and off they go. So I think that's it's good to have your Facebook there, if nothing else. And because people like to see who they're dealing with as well. And the information's on Google, but they still want to know, who are you all about, you know?
It feels kind of easier to then, you know, the kind of, I'm not particularly good at putting myself on certainly on my business Facebook page. I'm not really particularly good at doing it on Facebook at all, but I don't particularly like doing it on my business page. But it feels like it would be easier to do that kind of behind the scenes stuff on Google, and then it would get seen there, and then just link my Facebook page and they can look at the sort of professional stuff. That feels like it'd be a bit easier to do.
Yeah, whatever you think was going to make people be really stop them in their tracks and go for you over another business, you know.
Yeah.
And because like say for instance, I'm going to go to London this day, and I look up that hotel and I see their beautiful pictures of their room, but the reviews say this is dated, it doesn't look like this anymore, you know, it's smelly or whatever. Then I'm going to go and look at any customer photos they have. And usually this time I will have moved on, do you know, and say I'm not going there. I go on to the next one, and you go through Google like that. But then once you've sort of settled on somewhere that you might stay, then you go to their Facebook to see what else are they up to? What are they doing this week? What have they got on their menu? Do you know, what are they saying? Some people's Facebook is very, very empty though as well. So, you know, having a bit of both, it really, really does help your business. And some don't have any Instagram at all. So if you've got an Instagram page, you are really winning, because the younger people coming up, that's exactly where they're looking for your face. And I think my 30 days of Instagram people will agree with that the posts about them were far more engaged than the ones who just had products and services. But if you do have a simple product that you want to sell that is the thing that you sell the most of, your most popular product, that's the product you must have on your Google, because once people see it and they recognize it and they want to go and find it the next time, they don't need to talk to you again. They just need to order it again. Now, yours is different, Ray, because you have to personalize a lot of your stuff. So they do need to have a conversation. But for generally getting the basic bog standard things out there, like business cards and banner stands, you know,
you can still show examples of them, definitely, and then
examples of them.
Yeah.
For you, Susan, you could be putting on book now and put on, if you have got a calendar or, you know, an appointment system that you would want people to book with you online. You could put book now and get them to book a one-to-one appointment with you. You know, your first free, what do you call it?
Consultation.
Consultation. That's the word.
Discovery call. I think that's the end thing at the minute. It's a discovery call.
Yeah,
Don't stick with
discovery call. So I got here the types of posts that are very, very popular events. Even if you're having a sale day or a one-off day, or coming up very, very soon is that is the Cyber Monday and all those sorts of days. Having that on your Google as an event, because you're going to have money off or a special offer on, put that on and put your special offer on as well, and have it ending a couple of days after, say, Cyber Monday. If you've got blog posts that are going up, blog posts are supposed to have your keywords and have a bit about your business in there. However, you have to be found on Google. Your blog has to be found on Google first. So if you're putting those onto your Google My Business listing with learn more, and it takes you to read the blog, then I think that's good. So you can put a wee snippet of the blog on and learn more and take them to your website, so that you're gaining traffic and traction towards your website. Any new products, and making sure that they are on there so people can buy. When it's coming up to Christmas, you can put your Christmas holiday messages on, and leave it over Christmas, because you'll have updated your opening hours, and put a message on so that people know that you're there, that you'll be back on the 5th of January or whenever. And that's the last post that people will see. So then it saves you having to, answer questions and messages and things, because if they went to Google, they see why you haven't replied to their email. It's on your Google My Business listing. So I think that's the things to think about. I have here also a workbook that I'm going to send out to everybody as well, so you can see, is it set up? Have I connected my website? Have I added my email and my phone number? What information do I want to post? And any news, events, offers, images that I should share on Google. So I've got a wee workbook that I'm going to send out to everybody here, and all about how to get reviews and responses to reviews. And every time that Google sends me a message to say that there's a review there, I do have a slight panic. Everybody does. It's like, what is this person going to say about me? Because reviews are so vital, but everybody needs them. Has anybody got any questions that they want to put into the chat, or yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
A couple of questions. First one is, how do I find people? Say I want to find you, or say I want to find other people in my business. Can I find them if they're on Google My Business?
Yes, if you put in Mums at Work into Google search, that's the first thing that will come up.
Okay.
And if somebody's says, so what do you think the keywords would be, Ruth, for somebody looking for your business? That's the question, isn't it?
I mean, it's very broad. So, there's going to be a lot of things. It's going to be skincare, aromatherapy, wellness, work from home opportunities, fundraising, pamper parties.
Well, there you are. You can just make your list of those posts,
You put all of
those
those in.
keywords, and just keep creating posts around that. Now,
Okay.
what I do is every time we have an event where I get proper photographs, I will put them straight. I sit and upload them on a Sunday onto Google, and you can put a description for the whole set. So I put on business network and event for female business owners, all the keywords, so that those photos are being seen when people search for that particular thing. So I have to think about what are people looking for, and those are the photographs that are getting the most views as well. And
second question is around security for work from home issues. I have stalled at this because I don't want to put on my home address.
Oh, you don't have to put on your actual address. So say, for instance, like I'm 1 Sycamore Drive, Macrophilp, right? But my street is on the Ballyronan Road. So I could actually put on Ballyronan Road, Macrophilp. It brings it up in my area, but it's nowhere near my house. The Ballyronan Road's miles long.
Okay.
But it still brings you up, or you can just put in Macrophilp.
Okay. So you
could
put in a generic.
Put in a generic area, because it
And
doesn't
is it
matter.
better to have that as a narrow area?
Well,
Like, do I put the village that I'm in, or do I put the nearby city? Or
I
do
would put the village in, because that would be better. Also, then whenever you're verifying your listing, you'll have to put your phone number in, and they'll send you a text message rather than the postcard in the post, which wouldn't find you, because it's a bit more generic.
Yeah.
like Louise works out of a gym in her area, so she could put the gym address in, or she might just put the street that the gym's on. It doesn't matter, because anybody who's in her area can see where that is. Susan, you don't want too many people calling to your house either.
Actually, I have my address on it.
Well, there you are then. And who calls? Nobody
I'm
ever
out in the
calls
middle of the
me.
country, so nobody really comes unless they're specifically coming to see me anyway. They're not going to drive by just for the crack.
You
You don't know.
You
Well,
don't
that's
know.
true. There's some strange people out there.
There are strange people out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had mine on there for, I don't know, for ages now, and it's just dawned on me now, well, maybe I should actually put the main road rather than my actual, because it brings up a picture of my house.
Yeah.
However,
Because
if
it
you,
links to your social media, then it links to images of you.
Yeah.
And, to me, that's not good if you're.
well, if it's
care
linked
about
to your
your-
business page, Ruth, do you know, it's only going to see what you put on your business page. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but our Instagram business pages give quite a bit of personal information.
Yes, but that's, I suppose, whenever you're building a relationship with people and it's giving you information about, people like to buy from people that they like, know and trust, so they need to know who you are. Google
Absolutely.
wouldn't be much more different. And I suppose if you were a staff member working in a restaurant and your photos were on their Google My Business, do you know, does that say that that staff member is vulnerable? I don't think it necessarily does. Yes, there's crazy people out there, but generally speaking, people are looking for who they're going to buy from. You know,
But also, if you've got the information on your social media and you're saying you don't want to put it on Google My Business, it's already out there. So you've already given it to anybody that wants to find it. Putting it on Google My Business or putting the same information on Google My Business,
but not the address, Marie.
isn't going to do anything
Yeah.
different, because you've already made it in the public domain.
But I wouldn't put your exact address on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank
I would
you.
just put a generic area in, unless you did want people calling to your house.
You
Now,
had an actual
if you
shop or
were,
something.
and if you're doing aromatherapy, Ruth, and you need somebody into your studio in your home,
Yes.
they will look on Google to find directions to where to find you, and that's when you need to be having your address on. If you're doing reflexology, if you're doing camper parties at your house, that Google will be the place that people go and look for you. You know, and there's nothing worse than people. Now I know this because my address isn't on the map, and I can see them driving up and down the road and I'm waving at them. Do you know, it's great to have an address on Google that works. I'm just saying, because mine doesn't, does it, Marie? Marie's been, and it's not on the map. You know. So
No, I've got a very generic. I've just sort of like been looking, because I didn't think I'd set one up for both sides of the business, but I had, because I hadn't done anything about my club stuff. It's very, very generic, and there's nothing in there. So that's the one I've got to go and do some work on. Well, there is an address there, but there, I think, isn't there also a button that says you don't have to display your address?
No, you don't have to display your address, but it still will come up in your local area, which is so important.
Yeah. So you can still be, because I'm an online business, so I can still be on Google My Business without showing an address, which isn't relevant to what I do. So
yeah,
that's how I would do that, I think.
Okay.
So I think that's the important thing. So I'm going to send out all the slides to everybody here. So because I've got your email addresses, and at least that'll give you something to go back over, because it's quite a lot of information, really, really fast. It's easy for me because I do it every week. If I've got new coffee mornings on there, I go on and put them onto Eventbrite, link it to Facebook. I put them on to LinkedIn. I put them onto What's On NI, and then I go and put them onto my Google My Business, because it's silly not to. Do you know what I mean? And
so
then
you would classify it as events then, Sinead, like a special offer or a promotion you had going. You put that
Yeah.
in Google My Business as an event.
yeah, if you have it on for a weekend and you're wanting to run that, then you put it on as an event, because it's going to come up on events in your area, and it's going to capture people that normally wouldn't see you. Events is a really good one.
So even though it's just an online thing, it's not like event as in physically going to a thing, it would still be considered by Google as an event.
Well,
That's clever.
it's an event, isn't it, in your business? So you know you can word it whatever way you like.
Very good.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things pinging off in my
If
head
you
now.
were, Marie, if you had a warehouse and you had people there for that Saturday for that sale day, it's an event.
Yeah.
So it is an event. It's just that the word has changed a wee bit, so that, you know.
Well, I mean, there's also things like, special offers on whatever for this week or this month, that then is an event, isn't it? For the month, for the week,
Yeah.
for the weekend.
Mhm.
Flash sale Friday. It's an event.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's now straight on Google, not rather than faffing about with a Facebook page.
Well, yeah, and you can have it on both, but something,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of this information is copy and paste and using the same images.
Yeah.
And you know, the brilliant thing about Google My Business is it uses the same size of image as Facebook posts and LinkedIn posts. So you know, Instagram's the square and Facebook's rectangle, and Facebook does like square posts that are posted from Instagram now, but Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google My Business all use the same size of image, which is the rectangle. So it's very easy to be seen. They don't like, you can put videos on as well. They don't like long videos, so they have to be really short, like your YouTube shorts that I know you're all probably doing.
So I would have like a load of products on the gift side of it. There'd be a load of products. They're sitting there, and you can buy them. But then you do posts as well as having the product sitting there statically. You'd come
Yes.
in.
So the more you use it, the more Google thinks that you're loving it, and the more it wants to tell your customers in your area about you. Whereas if you leave it and you're not consistent, like everything else, Google will then see that as, you know, not being very, very useful to you or your customers. They want customers to use it and to see how valuable it is. So when I do the weekly blog post on a Sunday, generally I'll copy and paste the first part of that and create a post out of it with a photograph so that the blog's there as well, because it's driving traffic to the website.
Oh my God.
I put my events onto it. I don't have any sale days or any new products because I only sell the one thing. Do you know what I mean? But that's all good.
So
and our photographs are fine.
Your blog is a post. What events are posts? Events are events. I mean, it's just like mind-boggling what you can do with it. Really, I hadn't realised.
Yeah, and it's easy because you just upload a photo and text, and then you put in your link. That's it.
And then you're straight in
Google,
Google, and you're feeding the Google machine, aren't you? Really?
You're feeding the Google machine. And generally speaking, for Google My Business and for any Google posts, it takes up to 3 months for this to start working. So if you start it now, you know, if you've any after Christmas stuff going out, this is when it's going to be seen the most, because it takes that wee bit of time to build it.
Yeah.
The same way as you put your website on the internet, it'll not be found until it's on the. How many pages do you go to on Google looking for a service? You go to your first page,
One.
you possibly go to the second page, you do not go to the third page. So getting found on the first page is really, really hard. But if you're on Google My Business, it will put your posts at the top of the page, you know, because it's in the local area. So you're already beating the sponsored posts, you're already beating all the people with the brilliant SEO and their keywords. You're already up there.
Goodness.
Free.
Very helpful.
It's free. It's free. It's just something that people should do first before they do the other stuff. I know we concentrate so much on beating Facebook and Instagram algorithms and helping each other promote each other's posts and sharing it and all that, because, you know, it is social media is really social though. This is not. This is very, very cool without much thought. You have to put a lot of thought into Facebook and Instagram to be seen and to get engagement and to get people to comment and all this here. Google doesn't care if people comment or not. They don't care. People read it, they click it or they don't click it. It's very simple. But if you don't use it, then you're missing the trick.
That's what would have been my problem. Now I've just set it up and let it sit there, just assuming that it'll always be there. But yeah, I need to update and change things every now and again, I suppose.
Yeah, well, even if you set one Sunday in the month there, and you do it every one Sunday in the month, every 4 weeks, or every Monday in the month, do one Monday in the month, and that's consistent, Google will see that as you consistently using it. But don't do it for like 3 weeks and then leave it for 2 months and then do it for another week and then leave it again. Do it regularly on the same basis.
Thank you.
But you know what the thing is, people love to see photographs of people as well. So if you're at any events where you've been, and you, especially now if you're doing any markets or events where you're set up, anything, get photographs and put those onto Google. So if you're sat there with a table and you've got a photograph of you in your display, that's like a wee bit of your shop front that you're showing to other people. If you're out and about and you've got your merch on, get a photograph of it, get it on there so people can see who they're dealing with. Susan, you can take pictures of plastic bags full of receipts. Say, don't do this.
That's what I struggle with, is trying to think of, you know, pictures to put on, because there's not that many exciting things in the accountancy world, really.
But
Oh,
everybody can
stationery,
identify.
stationery,
Oh, yeah.
stationery.
Let me take a picture of the dog and put him on. He's always a good draw.
You'd have pictures of you like beavering away at your desk, Susan, and you know, this big long column of numbers and all that kind of thing. You can
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
pics
would
of
attract
frustrated
attention.
people with piles of stuff.
your,
who
your
need
calculator and
rescued.
the steam coming off it and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely. Yeah, and paper hanging out of drawers and bits of post-its on.
You holding a gun to your head, you know.
That's just every Tuesday.
But Susan, here's one that you could do as well, is, you know, on the run up round the pandemic, you were sharing all the posts to do with the grants and anything that's new. If you take those articles and copy and paste the first few words of it, right? And then you do the link to learn more and take the people to the full article, you're still providing information on your Google My Business, which is valuable, and you don't even have to create it. You just have to create the post.
Yeah.
So the title of the post can be like new information about accounts to do with all the sorts of stuff that we should really know that we don't want to read, but when we go to look for it, we want to hear it from a trusted source. So it's the information that you think is important for small business owners and accounts, you know, and then people will want to read that. What about you, Nolene? How are you getting on?
Would you believe when you were talking there, rather than try to do it afterwards, I've just set one up, but I haven't put, in fact, I've put very, very little in it. And when you're saying people are going to find you, do they just put that in Google, or do they have to go into Google My Business to find you?
No, it's just on Google.
So if they put your name, like say for example, Nolene's Kitchen Table, which I put in rather than Nutrition of Nolene, it's a long story, but there's a reason for it, that I'll come up there with nothing.
Yeah. If they search for Nolene's Kitchen Table, which they won't.
Yeah, okay. Well, if it goes in under the heading of health and wellness.
Health and wellness. If you put health and wellness and they look into health and wellness. Yeah.
And I can't do Nutrition with Nolene yet, so I have to wait for a wee while before I can do that. So I just tried it to.
So you can go and change your name, your contact number, your website, your opening hours, all that sort of stuff can be updated all the time on Google.
Brilliant. Okay.
In fact, again, if you've got a blog, say you've got a WordPress blog or any sort of blog where you're writing it regularly, if you've got any old blogs and you go back, now they've climbed Google a wee bit, might still be on page 10 or they could be on page 3 for whatever that keyword is, you go back and rework those blogs and update them. Google sees that again as being valuable, of you making sure your content's still current for your customers.
Okay, well, I don't do blogs, as you know. I'm not into any of this technical stuff, but I think I've got somebody who's going to help me now to work with me to do those things for me, which will be fantastic. Because
you could be writing articles about health and wellness, you know, and linking it to any future products that you're selling. The same with you, Ruth, but you know, you can write me mini blogs using those posts on Google My Business.
To ask about the free Google website. Can you like blog on that?
You can create posts which then come up as wee blog posts on there. So you just create posts, what's new, and do your post, and you can personalize that as well. Mine, I have never updated because I don't personally use it, but you know, you can change the colors and the theme of it. They give maybe 5 different themes that you can choose from, and then that's you.
Would that be like if you did have a website, would that then start competing against your own website?
Well, no, because I don't have mine displayed on the profile. I think there's a thing that you can just put, once you put your own website in, it takes that option out.
Oh, right.
Do you know what I mean? But there is the link there, should you want to share it with somebody else, you know, I think. But yeah, so at the minute, like I've got 3 websites, so it's just like, you know, how many do you need to update? So I would have a system that I do where I create all my, say, group posts on a Sunday once a month for, say, the Mums at Work Network group. Then maybe the next Sunday I would do Instagram, Facebook posts for Mums at Work. Then I would do Google My Business once a month and events and things like that, so that every week there'd be a different set of things to do, because I don't do Google My Business every week. I only do it once a month, but it's still enough. as long as I'm doing it once a month. And so that's the interesting thing about it all. But, you know, really, I do still believe that that's the first thing you should do, you know, before you do everything else. Make sure that all your information is on there and correct. And then it's only a matter of a quick update once a month. Do you know what I mean? A few photos fired on there, you know. Now, when I had my wedding business and we got professional photographs done of the hotel room. So I would have dressed, say, Galgorm once Friday, and then the next day maybe I was in the Laymore, get photographs done of the room. And then I would go on to Galgorm's Google My Business list, and they're on Google Maps. And you know where customers can add photos? I've uploaded all Swift's photos under Galgorm's Google listing and said, great room set up by Swift Wedding Services. Galgorm have a lot of people looking at them on Google.
You're covering all bases. You know, it's very good.
Right, Google then give you points as a personal profile, as a Google guide. And the more you do of that, then the more your reviews and photos are seen on other people's profiles, and the more Google sees you as a valuable contributor to Google for your own businesses. So if you're out and about, girls, and you are going to a fair somewhere and you take a photograph, don't put it just on your own Google My Business listing. Go to that venues thing and say, great fair hosted today by such and such a venue. I attended as my business, whatever your name is, and you know, I would really recommend their hospitality, whatever it is. You know, great lunch here, fantastic staff. Give them a good review, but put your photo on of you and your business and give it a wee mention as well. Now that's very sneaky, but that's good.
Have any of them ever come back and said, stop doing that on our customer review
No,
page?
all my photos were professional photos and they were gorgeous looking.
No, I know, obviously.
You know, so it never did anybody any harm.
Huh?
And also got them to see the room set up for weddings, which is great advertising for them. It was great advertising for them. And if you're there and you're taking a photograph of you in your stand at a certain place, you're showing the functionality of their venue as well. You know,
So I would do something like take a picture of your hoodie, go to the Mums at Work page, do a customer review on the Mums at Work page with a picture of your hoodie. Delighted to have been able to do this for Mums at Work. Isn't it gorgeous? Great colours, or you know, whatever. What a fantastic network, or you know, whatever my review would be. Can you keep doing that though?
Yes, do that once a month for me. Anybody else? Give me one. I don't mind. As long as it's good, and I will go and then reply and say thank you so much, Marie, from my club stuff for sending me this beautiful review. I'm so happy to have received my hoodie within 14 days. It fits perfectly. Great customer service.
So what we need then is one of those days where you would, like, you know, you go into the group and everyone's like, share your Facebook page, share your Instagram page. We actually want go review on Google, don't you? Set your Google My Business up and share all your reviews across to each other.
Yeah.
Perfect.
As long as they have connected, because it needs to be authentic. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I have bought a lot of stuff off you, Marie, so you deserve to give me one back. And I'll get set up.
About blooming time.
Just share your screen again there with the title of the presentation. We'll take a wee photo.
Yes, you're brilliant, Ruth. I'm so happy to do that. Let's hope that it works. Let me see.
I can't move my phone.
Is that working?
Yeah, that's working.
Yep.
There you go.
I better I got a photo of myself in there too. and I'll block out other people.
Isn't that great? I'm so happy you're going to do that now.
Well, don't hold your breath, but I might get right to it.
Brilliant stuff.
Ooh.
So as I said, I send out all these slides to you because I know it's quite a lot of information really fast, but
Mm.
I think I've covered everything that you can do at the minute. Now, it hasn't changed much. Unlike Facebook and Instagram, Google doesn't change a lot. Do you know what I mean? So that at least it stays looking exactly the same. You don't have to find where do I do this today. And so every post you put up is like a wee mini ad really for your business. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you're trying to post onto Instagram, you're really trying to have people come to your profile and then get to know you and then eventually buy from you. You know, it's such a tedious process. Whereas at least here, it sits there. Once you've it done, it's done. And if you're going to a fair or something like that, create an event for that as well and put it up so that you can, you know, let people know that you're going to be at a certain place at a certain time as well, and then where they can find the details of it, or any networking events, Marie. You know.
Can I just ask, when we're on here and you're talking about networking events, I will look them all up. I'm going to be very careful each week about checking what's on, but are there any local, like Marie, any Ballymena or Magherafelt ones in person coming up anyway? Soon?
Yes, we have them, but not till after Christmas, knowing because everybody's busy going to fairs and Christmas parties and
Just so I
Christmas
don't miss out, because sometimes I don't write things in the diary and then I'm thinking, oh God, I missed that, or I'm away or something's happening.
I think I had the last one confirmed last night for after Christmas, so I'll be uploading those at the weekend to Eventbrite so that they'll all be there.
So I won't miss anything in the meantime, that's what I'm wondering.
Well, they'll be on Wednesday mornings around 10:30, except for Enniskillen, which is on a Thursday.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Brilliant, thank you.
So there you are. So thank you so much for coming on. I'm glad my screen share worked. I remember that I'm glad that Nolly reminded me to record the screen.
Well, I knew I'd want to watch it again. That's why I was thinking, here I have to go through this again and see what I've done here. But anyway, hopefully it'll be.
There you are. So that's what we'll do. We post in their VIP group today and say, does anybody want to share their Google My Business listing? You know, all you do is go to Google Maps, click on your business, and that link is your listing, you know, to share.
Brilliant. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I shall see some of you next Tuesday, 12:30, and some of you maybe at the merchant event on the 15th of November, just in case you didn't already know about it. I'm going to say it again. I shall see you there. All right.
Thanks,
Thanks
Sinead.
very much, Sinead.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. Bye. Bye.